Okay, influence peddling in the deep state. Anyway, okay, so you got James Comer coming out, and he's got his this information, and he's at a press conference today. House Oversight Accountability Committee says the Biden family and its business associates created more than 20 companies and received more than $10 million from foreign nationals while Joe Biden served as vice president, and that some of these payments could indicate attempts by the Biden family to peddle influence. Some of the new information that comes out, the family took steps to conceal the source and total amount received. They've subpoenaed banks. They're looking for records, yada, yada, yada. Okay. Let me be very clear here. I hate all of this crap. And, quite honest with you, I'm no fan of politicians at all. They make me sick to my stomach. Most of them, not all. Washington, D.C. We shouldn't even call it Washington, D.C. It should be called, influence peddling D.C. What the hell do you think goes on in that city? Well, how do all of these members of Congress get so damn wealthy? Huh? Have you been to D.C.? Have you, gone down K Street and all the lobbying firms that are there? This country's pay to play, man. It is what it is. It's pay to play. And this is how these politicians operate. This is nothing new. I mean, I went off on a rant. We were talking about the Clinton Global Found. What was it? The Clinton Initiative, Global Initiative. 10 million. Clinton Global Initiative had buku dollars. You're talking about an ex-president. I mean, they were at their height. Bill was, still a big wheeler and dealer on the global stage. Hillary was Secretary of State and supposed to be the next president. Do you have any idea how much money they were able to raise around the globe? It's influence peddling. And it happens on all levels. Is it right? No. It's wrong. But my point is as much as this absolutely disgusts me about the current president and his family, it doesn't surprise me. And I, quite frankly, I don't think it surprises most Americans. I think we've gotten used to it. I really do. I mean, I think that most of the things that Comer is doing is going to fall on deaf ears. This is not going to take out Joe Biden as far as the Democratic nominee. It's not going to do it. Okay. Let me give you an example. Influence peddling, pay to play. This is many, many moons ago. So I was living in the state of Florida, and because of our track record, we at Markowski Investments, we said, why don't we try as well? Why don't we try? Because we didn't do a lot of institutional investing. All of our clients they're Americans, people from all over the globe, but we manage money for individuals. And we said, why not do some institutional as well? Expand a little bit. So I looked into it. We looked into it. I said, we maybe can manage some of the, pension money for the state of Florida, some of the pension funds here and there. Again, our track record, we've done a great job. Do you think being better matters? No, merit didn't matter. I could have had the most insane, ridiculous track record, for 50 years, and it wouldn't have mattered. You can't get your foot in the door unless you, guess what? You start buying. You start buying your time, man. You gotta pay a lobbyist. I remember, you're gonna pay $60,000 to this lobbying firm, and then they're gonna put you in front of this people. You gotta make sure you're donating to this. That's how I gotta get hired. I gotta pay people off. Yeah. I was pretty naive, I guess, at the time. I thought just they would be, consider us automatically based upon what we were capable of doing. No. And again, this I was at the state level. Do you imagine what it's like in Washington, D.C.? Imagine what it's like there. The type of money that they have to throw around and spend. Influence. Again, Hunter Biden, you take a look at the various different jobs that he has had with zero qualifications whatsoever. But it's how it works. Go take a look at the Biden's cabinet. Take a look at Biden's cabinet. We made fun of Jennifer Granholm yesterday. You got Mayor Pete. You can go right on down the line. And all of these people are unqualified for their positions. But again, they've got influence, they've got power. So they're going to keep those positions. And again, all leading to the world that we live in. We talk about, and I've talked about again and again and again, is deep state. I mean, some of the things that bother me, quite frankly, the most about this is not, I'll be honest, I hate the influence peddling. But to me, it's the various different acronym agencies that exist in Washington, D.C. and what our government has become. It is not what we're taught. It's not what our kids are taught in civics class. Checks and balances in executive branch, a legislative branch, a judicial branch of government. It doesn't work that way. We've talked about the proverbial deep state for a long time. I call it my, in essence, watchdog on Wall Street, axis of evil. Big business, politicians, and the media working hand in hand to further their own needs. I'm going to go off on a great editorial written today by David Bernhardt. This was in the Wall Street Journal. He was the Interior Secretary from 2019 to 2021. And he's talking about the deep state and what he's seen and how Washington is supposed to operate under a system of checks and balances. The Constitution of the United States is a check on governmental power, not the people. It's controls government. Power, and I've been lamenting this long, it's in the executive branch of government. It's widely controlled and wielded by unaccountable career bureaucrats. Again, these career bureaucrats based upon civil servant laws that can't even be fired. And it's making a complete mockery out of our founding documents and what we are supposed to be. I'm going to go into his piece today. The president and members of Congress regularly stand for election to ensure the government is accountable to the governed and the judiciary serves in good behavior to ensure that justice is dispensed impartially. While this sounds nice in theory, the federal government typically doesn't honor it in practice. Congress has delegated much of its lawmaking authority to the executive branch since the 1930s. Federal agencies now issue regulations that have the force and the effect of law. Administrative judges, executive branch employees routinely preside over trial-like proceedings without juries, letting agencies act as both prosecutor and judge. Under the Supreme Court's Chevron doctrine, courts generally defer to the executive branch's interpretation of the law, both in regulatory and enforcement proceedings. Many of the Constitution's checks and balances, from the separation of powers to the right to a jury trial, have fallen by the wayside. So as much of government's democratic accountability, the federal government has 2.2 million civilian employees 4,000 are political appointees. The president can remove at will. Career bureaucrats who aren't elected by the American people or appointed by the president make up obviously the majority of government employees and make many major policy decisions. Civil service protections making removing these employees incredibly difficult, and they know it. It's not, I'm sexy and I know it. You can't fire me, and I know it. And that's what this has become. So yes, is there a deep state? Absolutely. And a lot of it's being laid out right in front of us. And, FBI, CIA, take a look at their conduct with Russia collusion and Hunter laptop and, all of the crap. You go back to Hoover and the abuse of power. Abuse of power within the FBI and the CIA. Kennedy wanted to get rid of the CIA after the Bay of Pigs. Idea about this, it'll never fly. Government agencies, each and every one of them need to be like milk. They need to have an expiration date, because inevitably any sort of government bureaucracy is going to grow out of control like Steve McQueen's blob, bloated by the blood of its victims, except not blood of its victim, it's taxpayer dollars. And it needs to be constrained. And the way to do it is, again, it needs to expire. Would I completely dismantle the FBI and the CIA? Absolutely. Absolutely. And the funny thing is, you take a look at all of the crap that has come out as of late. I'm seeing more and more FBI is freaking awesome television shows on TV. Okay. If you say so. I'm not, listen, people, I know that there's good people that work there. I get that, but shut the thing down, start over. Make everybody reapply for their jobs, bring in an entire new crop of characters, completely purge these places. It's the only way I think we're going to have as far as moving forward. Again, it's wishful thinking on my part. And again, I'll never forget. I know I've mentioned it plenty of occasions here on the podcast when Donald Trump was going after the CIA and the FBI, which was early on in his presidency, and Chuck Schumer issuing a warning to him on Rachel Maddow's program and saying that they've got 6 ways past Sunday of getting back at you. And I put if you get those little pins and needles, it was a chill went up my spine when I heard that. And I said, this is the United States of America? We're not supposed to be like this. We're not. Like I said, we've got these beautiful founding documents, a great path as far as success is concerned. And, we've lost our way. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.